Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. Manchester United travel to Lyon away in the quarter-final of the Europa League tonight. And this is why, in my opinion, it's one of the biggest games for Manchester United in their recent history. It's an absolutely pivotal game for Manchester United, and as is all the remaining Europa League games between now and the end of the season. We know that Manchester United need Champions League football next year. And we kind of base ourselves off of our past and our history, and in terms of, challenging for the major trophies, and we haven't done so in an awful long time. Now, we know that Ruben Amorim has come in, the new manager of Manchester United, and there's a major rebuild needed for both our club and this playing squad at the moment. And we know what Champions League football can do to teams going forward, and in terms of doors that it opens up for revenue, for signing players, attracting the big names. We know Manchester United at the moment, they can only qualify for the Champions League if we win the Europa League this season. And obviously the league campaign has been absolutely atrocious for United. And in fairness, it's been a season to forget. It really has. Now, I'm going back a number of years now when we're talking about winning the Europa League under Jose Mourinho, subsequently not winning anything until Eric Ten Hag came along, the Carabao Cup, and then the FA Cup last year. While they were very important games and very important for Manchester United to win, I don't think that them competitions have the same weight that this one holds for Manchester United this season. I really, really don't. If we qualify for the Champions League next year by winning the Europa League, it gives us about £80 million extra on top of the revenue that we've already, potentially going to earn next year with TV revenue, Premier League, so on and so forth. And we know with the Premier League, the higher up the table you finish, the more you get. And I think it's about 4 million per position in the Premier League. But it pales in comparison to what you can get by being in the Champions League, alongside the TV revenue and the actual money for being in the competition itself. We've spoken an awful lot over the past couple of weeks about who Manchester United are being identified with, and who potentially we can get in the summer in terms of, really building this squad up and strengthening some of the positions that we do quite clearly need to strengthen in the summer. Striker being the number one. And there's kind of two tiers of players that United have been linked with. First of all, it was Gyökeres and Osimhen. Both of them look to be a little bit further away now than they were a few weeks ago when initial reports came out linking us with them. And we moved on to the kind of Liam Delap rumours, where, United are looking at maybe the more financially friendly targets. You could potentially get Liam Delap for 30 million this summer, because he does have a relegation clause with Ipswich, and it does look like they're going to go down. And I think that's why we don't really know what way we are going to attack the transfer window until this Europa League campaign is done for Manchester United. Champions League football is absolutely vital. And when you're looking at the big name signings, and again, I don't think United are looking to go out and make the Sanchez signings, the Di Maria signings anymore, the Paul Pogba signings. I don't think that's our model going forward. But you do need to be able to attract the top tier players across Europe. You really, really do. And again, that number 9 is the most pivotal position. We're so desperate to score goals in this team, and there's such a lack of goals within the team that we've got to be able to go out and at least challenge to sign some of these top players that can come in and hit the ground running and score goals for you. Now, again, we go into the game tonight, and there's been a bit of back and forth between Andre Onana and Nemanja Matic, and to be honest with you, I love to see it. For anyone who didn't hear it, obviously Onana came out and was interviewed after the game against City last week, and pretty much said that United are a way better team than Lyon. And I think he's right, to be quite honest with you. We've got to score goals to prove that. But Nemanja Matic had a response in his press conference saying, I wouldn't take any adherence to one of the worst goalkeepers in Manchester United history. If it was Schmeichel, if it was De Gea, if it was Van der Sar, maybe so, but not this guy. And I love to see that little bit of tension going into games. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and it really does rile up the atmosphere. But be under no illusion here, Lyon are going to have that posted up in their dressing room tonight. Andre Onana saying that we are by far far better team than they are, and it just adds an extra little spice to the game. It really, really does. We need to win this game tonight. We really do. Manchester United, like we said, don't score an awful lot of goals. And I think it's going to be a tight enough game, if I'm being honest with you. The worst case scenario is that United go a couple of goals down away from home. Like I said, there's not a lot of goals in this Manchester United side. So can you see us turning it around? And you want to be taking you want to be taking the lead back to Old Trafford. That's the absolute best scenario, best case scenario. Hopefully a couple of goal leads. And I think if we can do that, it gives us a great opportunity to get into the next round. We should be beating Lyon. Absolutely, we should be. And, we're getting some players back. Obviously, Mason Mount's been back a few weeks, and Kobbie Mainoo was also back as well. He's probably not going to feature too much tonight, considering he's only back in training this week. But, De Ligt is missing for the game. Aidan Heaven is obviously still missing as well. It's probably going to be a back three of Mazraoui, Maguire and Yoro. I mean, no issues with the three of them because they've all been playing really, really well. And I think probably the changes we will see, if any, will be in the forward line. Maybe the two number 10s, the number 9, maybe the number 6s. Casemiro's been doing really well there as well. It's an absolutely huge game. One that I'm really, really excited about, I have to say. Score predictions, I'm going with a 3-1 win to United. I think we'll get the job done. I'm confident. Manchester United have had a really successful European campaign so far this season. We're the only team unbeaten in Europe, across all the European competitions. And, that is very, very good. Now, there has been games maybe where we've thrown away leads and so on and so forth. And we got to be on it tonight. We really have to be on it tonight. But I reiterate the fact that this game tonight and the game next week at Old Trafford, the reverse fixture, I think are one of the biggest games, or two of the biggest games in Manchester United's recent history, because the rebuild that we need to go into and continue to go through, to be honest with you, it started last summer under Ineos, now with Ruben Amorim at the helm. We've got to have as much money available as possible. And like I said, if we get into the Champions League, not only does it provide the financial backing you need to go out and really attack a summer transfer window, but it also allows you to attract the top tier players. And Ruben Amorim is going to need some proper backing this summer. He really is. And if we don't get Champions League football, you're going to have to be an awful lot smarter in the transfer market, in terms of getting players, maybe doing deals where we pay over the odds of a release clause, maybe, but spread it out over 3 or 4 years. So, look, it's an absolutely huge game for Manchester United. And guys, we will be live for the game at 7:30 tonight. I do hope you can join us for it. Really looking forward to it. Absolutely vital game. Come ready, come prepared, come, ready to shout for Manchester United and get into the live chat tonight at 7:30. I hope you can make it. Thanks for watching, guys. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you tonight. Come on, the Reds.